Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing my early favorites for the 72nd edition for Miss World. Starting with the contestants from Africa, as a proud African myself. And I remember being a young child who, when I saw Akabine Durango being crowned Miss World Nigeria 2001, and that was such a proud moment for me, not just as an African, but as a Nigerian, to see a Black woman from the continent be crowned Miss World. So really excited. So I've been a big fan of pageants, specifically Miss World, ever since, and I really admire what they do in terms of their advocacy for beauty with a purpose. And so I'm really excited to see how this 72nd edition will turn out. So currently there are 20 contestants that have been confirmed for Miss World from Africa. I believe Miss World Tanzania had just recently dropped out due to, based on what she posted on her Instagram, she felt that she didn't have enough support from her pageant organization. So, and I do believe there's at least two more countries that haven't been crowned yet. I believe Liberia and Sierra Leone are still need to crown their queens, and I'm sure they, and with Miss World not being held to May 31st in India, so there might be more crownings, who knows. But right now we have 20 confirmed, and potentially, which could go up to potentially 22. The way I was able to rank the contestants from Africa was based on their presence on social media, essentially how much information could I find about their advocacy, their Beauty with a Purpose project, and go from there. So again, just keep in mind, this is just early prediction that could change at any moment. So some contestants do have a more detailed Beauty with a Purpose project, and some are still kind of working on it, developing one, because they had just been recently crowned, for example. So without any further ado, let's get started. So my number 20th prediction is going to be Angola. Nura Assis. So according to her Miss World IG page, she is a musician. I wasn't able to find any additional information on her advocacy or her Beauty with a Purpose project, but I'm sure that's going to update as we get closer to the competition. So right now I have her as my number 20th, but again, that could change down the road. Number 19, Togo. Miss Afolabi Najirotu. She is 21 years old, and she's so stunning. Wasn't able to find any additional details on her Beauty with a Purpose project, but again, as we get closer to the competition, I'm sure that will update. Number 18 is Mauritius, Kimberly Joseph. She's 20 years old. Based on what I found on her Instagram page, she's a freelance model, and again, wasn't able to find any additional information but on her Beauty with a Purpose project. But again, still early. Last year, Mauritius actually made it to the top 12 in Miss World. So hey, you never know. Number 17, Ghana. Juta Puka. She's 20 years old, a law student. Like with the other three, wasn't able to find any additional details on about her Beauty with a Purpose project. But again, I'm sure we'll update as time goes on, as we get closer to competition. Number 16, South Sudan, Ayom Metiek. I hope I'm pronouncing their names properly, and if I'm not, please let me know in the comments. So I know she was just recently crowned, and according to her IG page, she's a peace advocate. So I was trying to find more information about what that entails. I'm assuming that's going to be her Beauty with a Purpose. I mean, yes, it's just advocating for peace, but just getting more additional details on that. Wasn't able to find a lot of information, but I do believe, she was just recently crowned, so I'm sure as we get closer to competition, we'll have more information to go on. Number 15, Equatorial Guinea, Estela Nguma Mange, and she's 23 years old. So I'm going to switch a little bit in Spanish, pero un hecho divertido sobre Equatorial Guinea es solo un país en África que habla español. So basically, they're the only country in Africa that speaks Spanish. So she, according to her Miss World website, she was crowned back in September of 2003. Wasn't able to find a lot of information on her Beauty with a Purpose project, but she did when she was contesting for Miss World Equatorial Guinea, she expressed her desire to positively influence the lives of young women in Akuranam, which is her municipality that she was representing at the time. So right now I have her as number 15th, but again, that could change. Number 14th, Namibia, Selma Kamanaya. Now, she previously represented Namibia at Miss Universe 2018 and was recently appointed as Miss World 2025. According to the Windhoek Observer, which is a Namibian newspaper, her Beauty with a Purpose will be focused on mental health and sustainable agriculture. So I have her at number 14 at this time. Number 13, Tunisia, Lamizmi Redisi. She is 23 years old, and she's a former national karate member. So I can definitely see her doing well in the sports challenge. And she's dedicated to humanitarian causes, one of which she mentioned on her IG page is La Voix de l'Enfant Marine. So which translates in English, the voice of the child of Medellin. So fun fact, in Tunisia, they also speak French, along with Arabic and other local languages. So she works with a nonprofit. So it's a nonprofit. So La Voix de l'Enfant Medellin is a nonprofit organization based in Medellin, Tunisia, and it's really dedicated to supporting vulnerable children and young mothers. So really excited to see just kind of more information regarding her Beauty with a Purpose project. But she's one right now. I have her number 13, but I could definitely see her potentially getting to the top 40. Number 12, Ethiopia, excuse me. Hasset Dereje. She's 19 years old and a chemical engineering student. Now, she formerly competed in Miss Teen Universe and Miss International, where she placed on the top 3. And according to her Miss World profile, she's focused on initiatives that uplift youth and women. Number 11, Grace Nima Ramatu. She's 25 years old. Now, according to the Miss World website, she runs her own design company. Entrepreneur, we love to see that. She's passionate about mentoring young professionals and is involved in supporting young women or young girls who have been victims of abuse. So, again, she has a very strong, I really admire her Beauty with a Purpose project, and I could definitely see her potentially placing in the top 40. Now, the next 10 girls I'm going to talk about are the girls that I feel that based on their Beauty with a Purpose project and advocacy that have a strong chance of making it into the top 10. Now, top 40. Now, keep in mind, last year in the 71st edition of Miss World, we had 13 African queens who made it all the way to the top 40. And I have a feeling that we could probably see a similar number in the double digits. But again, time will tell as we get closer to competition, specifically how the queens do in the head-to-head challenges and the fast-track events. So my number 10 right now is Senegal. Mame Famae Gaye. She's 24 years old. She's a model who is pursuing a criminal science degree. And according to the Miss World website, she's driven by her passion for education and community development. And she's launched initiatives focused on increasing educational opportunities for young girls in the region and empowering women. So this is part of her Beauty with a Purpose project. So it's going to be interesting to see as the time goes on. I wasn't able to see like a video because I know sometimes if you go on the Miss World website right now, you can kind of see there are some queens that have already made a Beauty with Purpose video. So I wasn't able to see one yet for her, but I'm sure that will, or maybe I did miss it, but I didn't see one, at least from when I checked. But again, that could change. I'm sure she'll have one before we get closer to the competition. Number 9, Madagascar. Syria Nombe. She is 22 years old. According to her Facebook page, she's a digital creator. And when I looked on the Miss World website, her Beauty with a Purpose project is defending children with albinism who face discrimination and violence in her country. She supports a shelter where children with albinism can live, study under the protection of police officers. So this really resonated with me as an African myself, fellow African myself. You know, the mistreatment of albino people is something that has been an ongoing issue, and I really want to give a kudos for bringing awareness to it, and not only, and also taking the concrete actions, steps to address the issue. So I not only do I see her in the top 40, but I can also see her being a strong finalist for the Beauty with a Purpose Award. So she's my she's my number 9 for right now. But again, that can change and she could potentially move up. But I definitely see her. I think she has a strong Beauty with a Purpose project, and I can definitely see her in the top 40. Number 8, Somalia, Zainab Jamia. She's 23 years old and holds an aviation degree. My overall impression of her is that she's stunning, she's well-spoken, she speaks in this very calm, steady manner, and I can definitely see her placing in the top 40. According to a Beauty with a Purpose video on her IG, she uses her voice to advocate for the youth in terms of education and against FGM. Number 7, Zimbabwe, Courtney Jonge. She's 23 years old, and actually she previously competed at Miss Earth 2023, where she placed in the top 20. So, which I think that, you know, could be a huge advantage for a competition like Miss World, because Miss Earth is part of the top 4 big pageants in the world. So I definitely see her placing in the top 40. Her Beauty with a Purpose, that's a project that's stated on Miss World's website, is called the Century Project. It's a mental health initiative centered in advocacy, inclusion, and holistic well-being, focusing on marginalized communities rarely where mental health support is often limited. So again, this is something I really find her Beauty with a Purpose project to be very powerful, because I think, at least speaking for myself, speaking as a Nigerian, I don't think mental health is talked about a lot. It's something that it tends to be hush hush. It's just like you pray about it, and you know, it goes away on its own. And I like that she is taking the initiative to really bring that issue into the forefront. So definitely see her placing in the top 40 for sure. Number 6, Botswana, Anika Gatushi, formerly Miss Teen Botswana 2019 and Miss Teen International second runner-up. So she's currently studying procurement and supply, and she's an advocate for women empowerment and healthcare accessibility. Given the fact that Botswana did so well last year and placed in Miss World Africa and did well in placed in top 4, I definitely see her placing in the top 40 as well. I definitely think I'm curious to see how she does in competition. So, but right now I definitely see her in top 40. Could she go up potentially higher? Yes, but you know, time will tell. So now I'm gonna go into my top 5 girls or queens that I think not only do I see placing in the top 40, but also make potentially winning the crown. My number 5 is Cote d'Ivoire, Fatoumata Koulibaly. She's 21 years old, a law student, and was appointed as Miss Cote d'Ivoire. Talk about, first of all, she is stunning, as you can see. Reminds me of a black Barbie. I think of Olivia Yas when I see her, and I could definitely see her winning top model, and definitely see her in the top 40. According to her Miss World profile, she advocates for empowering young women in Cote d'Ivoire who face economic hardship and social injustice, providing them with the tools and support to bring a brighter future. So she is what I consider my first wild pick for top 12, and I could potentially, depending on how she does in the fast track events, like if she does well in top model, and does well in the other fast track events, I can see her in the top 12 and beyond. Number 4, Nigeria, Rami Musu-Ola. She's a 24-year-old graduate who actually previously competed at Miss Intercontinental Africa 2022, and was Miss Intercontinental, where she was crowned Miss Intercontinental Africa. Not only is she stunning, but she really has this dynamic personality that reminds me of Nkechi Douglas when she competed in Miss World and made it all the way to top 5 and was crowned Miss World Africa. So according to her intro video for Miss World Nigeria, her aim is to break the stereotype and redefine beauty standards. And I feel like if there's anyone that could do it, it's her. You know, she's a short hair beauty queen, but there's something about her personality that I find that, again, she's just dynamic, and I like the way she speaks. She speaks with this passion and confidence, and I definitely see her doing very well. So And you know, when you look at Miss World and look at the type of queens that they typically tend to try to crown, is usually that kind of traditional, conventional, you know, the traditional, conventional beauty standards. And so, I definitely see her potentially being the first non-traditional beauty, you know, non-traditional queen that they crown or not fit in that beauty standard mold. So I could definitely see her breaking those barriers. So I believe she's her. I know she's. My understanding is like based on her Instagram videos. She has been doing a lot of charity work over the years since her time as Miss International Africa. The one that she's working on right now, which I don't know if it's her Beauty with a Purpose project, but I think that it could be, is called the Omolabi Renaissance Project, and it's really based on her personal experience of losing her mom at a very young age. So she's really advocating for two things. One, that access to quality healthcare should not be non-negotiable, as well as advocating for education for children. So both, I think, you know, are very admirable projects. And I definitely consider her my second wild card pick for top 12. And I could also see her making it further like Nkechi Douglas did back in Miss World 2019. Number 3, Uganda, Natasha Ngozi. UNC. She's 23 years old, and as you can see, she's another stunning beauty. According to her Miss World bio, she's a strong advocate for children with special needs, specifically children with autism, breaking down the stigma surrounding it. She's been involved in charity work, supporting this cause over the years. Watching some of her interviews, the first thing that struck out to me is that wow, she's a phenomenal speaker. She speaks with this confidence, and it just flows very well. I can see her doing very well in the head-to-head challenge, along with also doing well in you know, beauty with being a finalist for Beauty with a Purpose project. So she would be my third selection for top 12. Number 2, Cameroon Issy Princesses. She's 24 years old, beautiful, elegant, and she actually formally competed at Miss Universe 2023, where she placed in the top 20. She was actually one of my favorites to make it far in that edition. So I think having that experience of competing in another big pageant, you know, Miss Universe is considered, like Miss Earth, considered one of the big top 4 pageants. I think she's an advocate. That's an advantage for her. So for her Beauty with a Purpose project, she's an advocate for breast cancer, and according to her Miss World website, the Miss World Beauty with a Purpose website, her campaign combines efforts, charity events, and direct aid to offer emotional, medical, and financial support to those in need. Beyond cancer care, Marie Princess has supported victims of sickle cell disease, autism awareness, elderly care, and natural disasters. Very impressive Beauty with a Purpose project. See her as a finalist for the Beauty with a Purpose Award, and she'll be my second selection for top 12. All right, so that was my number 2, and number 1, South Africa, Zorlis van Rensburg. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I'm not. She's 19 years old and a law student. So I've been seeing, you know, I've seen a lot of other pageant accounts who have placed her as the, you know, likely winner, and based on the research, I can see why. And actually, not only is she my prediction for my number 1 prediction from the continent from Africa, potentially becoming Miss World Africa, but also within the crown itself. I really love her project, so I'm just gonna read her project. So according to the Miss World website, her Beauty with a Purpose project is never too young to advocate. So she's really focused on helping children in vulnerable situations and building safe learning spaces along with raising funds for their future. She's also reading a children's book that helps children improve their reading and writing skills through activities and worksheets. So overall, I was just really impressed by her. I mean, for someone so young, already has a very focused goal of helping others and this servant leadership mindset. It's really encompasses what the Miss World Beauty with a Purpose organization is all about. She kind of reminds me of Roland Strauss, who won Miss World in 2014, also Miss World South Africa, was Miss World South Africa. So yeah, she is my number 1 pick from the African continent, like I said before, and I can see her being crowned the winner. So that is it for my predictions. Don't forget to, if you like this content, please don't forget to subscribe. And I can't wait to hear all your comments below, and let me know what you think about my picks. Again, early predictions. I'll probably make other videos as time goes on. But yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts and which continent should I focus on next. So yeah.